I don't really understand. Ano ba ang nakikita lang masama nito? Isip pag maraming estudyante dito, baka mag-EDSA? Baka pumunta sa EDSA, itapol ang government? Or is it para mag-spy?
Bongbong Marcos, what was your deal with the Americans? Na wala kang paliwanag, biglang bumihit at naging pro-American, hindi lang pro-American, tuta ng Amerikano ka.
A very unique edition of Pandesal Forum. We have a very controversial topic na dapat daw hindi controversy, pero naging controversy because of some political issues. Welcome back again to Pandesal Forum, Mr. Sergio Ortiz Luis Jr., for your opening statement about this issue.
Well, good morning, everyone. I called Wilson yesterday. Only I didn't expect to be here today. I was just telling him, why is it that there's so much sensationalism? It looks like to me kako there is a real effort to make this issue something that is changing it to xenophobia. No, I cannot understand. You know, we have been very proud saying that in the 70s, 80s, ang daming foreign students dito, mga taga-Thailand, you studied in schools like CRC, and sinasabi natin sa UP Los Baños na we're very proud. Tapos naging mga ministers ng agriculture, ng ano, dito nag-aaral sa atin. And tayo naiiwanan. Tataka ako. And then we also in Philippine Chamber of Commerce try to get arrangement of exchange students from Japan, from mainly from China. Every year we try to bring in Chinese in exchange so that we can send Chinese students. Now all of a sudden it's bad. I don't really understand. Ano ba ang nakikita lang masama nito? Isip pag maraming estudyante dito, baka mag-EDSA? Baka pumunta sa EDSA, itapol ng government? Or is it para mag-spy? Alam mo, hindi ko kailangan mag-spy dito ang China eh. Yung media mismo, day to day, sinasabi lang ang foreign policy natin, ang gagawin nila, kung ano ang gagawin. Ba't kailangan pa mag-spy? Now, doon sa EDCA, doon sa Cagayan, I will say that China will be stupid if they don't send people there to look what EDCA is doing there. Because for all they know, they're pointing missiles at them, no? So, I mean, why are we politicizing the issue of students, Chinese students? And to me, it sounds funny, actually. Dati, ini-encourage natin all of a sudden because of an issue, masama na kayo na student na Chinese dito. So, I really cannot understand it. Thank you.
Next, we'd like to invite Mr. Herman Laurel. Si Kamentong is President, Asian Century Philippine Strategic Studies. He is a nationalist, intellectual, and activist. We'd like to invite him to give his opening statement regarding this issue.
Magandang umaga po sa lahat. Si Herman Kamentong po ito. Alam naman po natin lahat, nagsimula lahat itong anti-China propaganda noong Pebrero ng nakaraang taon 2023. Noong biglang pumihit po si Bongbong Marcos mula sa pakikipagkaibigan, alinsunod doon sa ating independent foreign policy, alinsunod doon sa friend to all and enemy to none na prinsipyo na sinusunod since President Duterte's time. Bakit siya pumihit? Yun ang sikreto niya na hindi pa pinapaliwanag. Bakit siya biglang napalapit sa Amerikano? Bakit, Mr. President Bongbong Marcos? What was your deal with the Americans? Na wala kang paliwanag, biglang pumihit at naging pro-American, hindi lang pro-American, tuta ng Amerikano ka. Pati yung iyong mga speeches, halatang halata, Amerikanong nagsusulat dahil po tayo ay media people. Ako ay isang analyst ng media. Alam natin ang mga salita na Amerikano lang ang gumagamit po. At yung po ang lumalabas sa mga bibig po ni Bongbong Marcos ngayon. Mga horrific daw yung mga statements galing sa China. So, it's very clear. Now, hindi tayo nagugulat o nagulat nung lumabas itong si Congressman Lara tungkol dito sa mga sobrang estudyante daw na galing sa China doon sa Tuguegarao. Unang-una, Amerikano po ang nag-instigate po niyan dahil sila ang gumagawa ng kasalanan sa Tuguegarao at sa Cagayan Province. Sila ang gumagawa ng makakasama makakadisgrasya po sa mga Cagayanons. Ano yan? May 2 base militar po ang Amerikano po doon. And we have just read the report from Tokyo Times 2 days ago. Ano ulat ng Tokyo Times? America is deploying mid-range missiles po sa norte. Saan pa po yan kundi sa Cagayan province bases na yan? Bakit sa norte? Yun ang tanong ni Senator Amy Marcos. Tinanong ni Senator Amy Marcos, bakit nga sa norte? Eh kung yung gustong itulong ng Amerikano ay yung West Philippine Sea issue daw, bakit sa norte? Ang layo-layo ng West Philippine Sea doon. No? So, magising na po tayo, niloloko tayo ng mga Amerikano sa pamamagitan ng paggamit ng manika nila na si Bongbong Marcos. Now, ang pakay po talaga, we'll keep it short, ng Amerikano ay lumikha ng gera dito. Hindi para manalo ang Amerikano laban sa China. Walang panalo po ang Amerikano sa China dito sa Asia. Eh, ang tanong ninyo, bakit nga gagawa sila ng gera kung wala silang panalo? Unang-una siguro yung iba may tanong, paano walang panalo? Unang-una, the Chinese Navy is now getting closer to 400 ships, warships. Ang Amerika po ay 300 pababa to 270 warships. China is the greatest shipbuilding power and warship building power now in the world. So I will not add to that except to say that yung 270, 300 ships ng Amerika nakakalat pa sa buong mundo. Yung 400 ships ng China po nakakoncentrate po sa Western Pacific at South China Sea and parts of Indian Ocean. So I've given you a short strategic military view, ano? So, bakit nga kung walang panalong Amerika dito sa Asia at sa China, eh gagawa sila ng gulo at malinaw po, ginagawa na nila, hinahanda na nila. I just mentioned, uulitin ko, please let this burn in your mind. Naglipat na sila and you can see the report in Japan Times and some other international papers ng mid-range, 2,500 kilometer range na ballistic missiles po sa Cagayan province. Ano? Bakit po sila? Ang pakay po nila, tulad ng ginawa nila sa Ukraine at sa Europa ngayon, pilayin ng ekonomiya. So ang objective nila sa Asia, pilayin ng ekonomiya ng China at ng Asia. Bakit nila gagawin yan? Eh para makabangon at makahabol ulit ang ekonomiya ng Estados Unidos. Please remember what I'm saying. Very many people will find it hard to understand what I'm explaining. Strategic thinking po yan. 25 years ang strategic thinking ng Amerika. 50 years ang strategic thinking ng China. I hope the media will help our public at least get to a 5-year to 10-year strategic understanding of what is evolving in the world and in our Asian situation. Okay. Dadagdag ko lang ito para again to stress the point. Ang ASEAN po, alala na po. Tahimik sila kasi meron tayong diplomatic politeness sa loob ng komunidad ng ASEAN. Pero ang Singapore Foreign Minister bumisita po nung nakarang 2 days or 3 days ago. Anong mensahe niya? Negative na ang impact sa trade sa ASEAN itong tension sa South China Sea. You can see the headline. So, seryoso po ito. Habang sila ay nanggagatong ng gulo dito sa Pilipinas dahil pumapayag ang ating presidente na magpagamit po. Bakit? Again, di pa niya pinapaliwanag kung bakit siya pumapayag. Ano? Well, alam natin lahat yan. Wala naman secret dito sa Pilipinas. May deal siya sa Amerikano na ibalik ang yaman na kanilang matagal na pong hinihintay na maibalik. Pangalawa, alam din natin yung hindi naman sikreto, he is under blackmail. May kaso siya, may arrest order siya sa Amerika. Of course, may immunity siya ngayon. But eventually, someday, he will be arrested also. That is part of the blackmail and many other. Of course, ang lokal military po natin, laging handang magkudeta para sa Amerikano tulad ng ginawa nila kay Marcos Sr., kay Erap. Ano? So, yan ang mga threats naman kay Bongbong Marcos. But why did he become president if he's going to be a coward? No? I really want to burn every word I said to you. Delikado po ang ginagawa ni Bongbong Marcos para sa bansang Pilipinas. Sa harap ko po ay laging pag ako'y magsisimula pananalita ay mga litrato ng mga apo ko. That is what we are defending now. This is no joke. Pag-aralan yung ginawa ng Amerikano sa Ukraine ngayon. Binaba ang conscription age from 27 yung recruitment para sa military from 27 to 25 kasi ubos nila na ang kanilang 26 to 27 years old. Yan ang ginagawa ng Amerikano sa Ukraine. Tapos marami tayong US proxies dito sa Pilipinas tulad ng Congressman Larang yan, Bongbong Marcos. And alam na po ninyo yung mga pro-Americans po rito.
Do not forget our topic is Cagayan students. Thank you very much, Mr. Laurel, for your opening statement. Na-excited siya. But he's ready to answer any questions later on. Next, we have Mr. Peter Tiulabinia. He is from Davao City, but now here joining us, representing the Association of Philippines-China Understanding, or APCO, as its second vice chairman and trustee, to give an opening statement about the controversy raised by several politicians about the presence of China students in Cagayan province. Is it a problem, or are they overblowing a non-issue into a problem? Mr. Peter Tiulabinia, for your opening statement.
Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Maraming salamat, Wilson. Mga kasamahan natin sa mass media, social media, at mga sumusubaybay sa mga streaming ngayong umaga. Noong nakaraang Webes lang ho, ang Association for Philippines-China Understanding sa ngalan ni Chairman Raul Lambino ay nagpalabas ho ng isang statement expressing our concern, no, sa umiigting na racism at xenophobia na nangyayari sa ating bansa. Ito ho ay umiigting at lumalala sa nabanggit nga ho ni Kamentong mahigit 1 taon na. Pero kung titignan natin, centuries na rin ho ito. Itong tinatawag na anti-China or the yellow peril. No? Isa itong mukha ng racial discrimination. Ang nangyari ho dito sa Cagayan province, tungkol daw sa mga napakaraming estudyante galing sa China at nagpapatawag ng congressional hearing dahil national security threat daw itong mga estudyante, no, pinagdududahang mga espiya ng China, ay dapat itong tutulan natin. Ito ho ay isang cancer sa ating society na dapat putulin na agad. Huwag na ho nating palalain pa. Kung hindi ho natin ito pipigilan, dadaong mo ito sa masamang tutunguhin. Kung maalala natin, during the 1950s, meron tinatawag na McCarthyism na nangyari sa Estados Unidos. Ito ho yung Red Scare. Red tagging kung tawagan natin ngayon. Na lahat ng tao, kung gusto mo lang magpaliwanag ng mga issues, dududahan ka agad na either pro-China ka na, o pro-Chinese ka, o espiya ka ng China. At meron pa ngayon, sa katunayan, marami tayong member sa APCO at ilang mga kilala nating mga social media influencers at mga mass media personalities ay binabansagan na nga niyan. Mga paid hack daw at mga pro-Chinese. Ito ho ay hindi makatarungan, walang basehan, pero pinupoliticize sa nabanggit nga ni Serge kanina na bakit nating binibigyan ng ating sarili ng problema. Sa katunayan, ang edukasyon ay for centuries meron ng mga cross-border education programs. Tayo mga Pilipino, marami na tayong napaaral sa mga ibang mga universidad all over the world, including in China. Marami yung mga estudyante, mga Pilipino sa China. Isa na ho dyan yung ating kasama sa Board of Trustees ng APCO, si Ana Uy, no, na isa sa kabahagi sa nag-organize nito. Siya ba ay security threat ng China? Siya ba espiya ng Pilipinas sa China? Para bang ganun ang ibig sabihin ng itong mga politiko na gustong tawagin lahat ng mga estudyante na parang advanced forces ng katunggali na mga nating mga bayan na hindi naman talaga sa ganun. Ang China ho ay hindi nating kalaban. Kami ho ay sa APCO, matagal na naming pinapaliwanag na dapat dialogue, understanding, friendship, cooperation ang dapat na palisiya natin sa pakikitungo sa lahat ng mga bansa. Hindi yung pagtutunggali, confrontation, at pagdududa-duda. No, hindi nakakatulong sa pag-usbong ng ating bayan. Sa katunayan, maraming bansa nabubuhay dahil sa mga foreign students. Pinopromote nila ang kanilang mga universidad ng kanilang bansa na tumanggap, no, na maraming foreign students. Because ito ay naging negosyo na. Aside from fostering friendship and cooperation, ay ito'y kabahagi na ng negosyo ng mga paaralan. Mula nung COVID, for example, at umiigting na xenophobia nga, itong anti-China, marami na ang mga estudyante, for example, na from China, sa Canada, at sa Estados Unidos, as malamang sa Australia, na hindi na nag-aral. Ano ang estado ngayon ng mga paaralang ito? Nakita nila yung epekto. No? Nabawasan ang kanilang income, nabawasan ang kanilang mga estudyante. Sa dahil lang sa mga duda-duda na itong mga estudyanteng ito ay national security threat or mga espiya ng China. So ganoon din ang dapat nating maintindihan sa nangyayari sa Cagayan o sa Tugigaraw, no, sa ilang apat na paaralan, no, na lahat ito ay dumaan naman sa masusing pag-aaral ng ating mga ahensya, ng CHED, Higher Education, ng DFA sa pag-i-issue ng visa, ng Bureau of Immigration sa pagtatanggap nitong mga estudyante. So hindi natin maintindihan bakit pinapalaki ang issue, no? Talagang pinopoliticize. At pwede nating matanggap na yan sa context na nangyayari ngayon, na nabanggit na nga ni Kamento. Umiigting, lumalala ang xenophobia dahil nga meron tumutulak na outside forces, ginagamit ang Pilipinas maging instrumento laban sa China. Maraming salamat po at sana makatulong kami na maipaliwanag ito at handang-handa kami sumagot sa anumang katanungan.
Thank you very much, Peter Tiu Labinya of APCO for your opening statement. Please be ready with your questions para sa kanya. Next, we have Ms. Teresita Angsi, isang anti-crime and also alam ko anti-racism activist, also intellectual kasi university professor siya sa Ateneo and other universities. Si Ms. Teresita Angsi, by yung statement niya, founder of the Movement for Restoration of Peace and Order, her statement condemning this politicization of the presence of China students in Cagayan will be read to us by Professor Ana Malindog Uy, who is also an intellectual, cum laude graduate of UAP Political Science, finishing her PhD. Ana Malindog Uy to read the opening to read the statement of Ms. Teresita Angsi.
So just want to announce because I'm in touch with them. So just ang title po ng statement ni Ma'am Tessie is The Ugly Face of Xenophobia and Racism. Si Madam Teresita Angsi po ay founding chair, Movement for Restoration of Peace and Order, founding president of Kaisa para sa Kaunlaran. So ito po, umpisan kong basahin. The past days, preoccupation with deliberate fanning of xenophobia and racism by politicians and media, spreading baseless lies, saying that Chinese student as spies is dangerous and unfortunate. Politicians, opinion makers, our military and police scramble to ride on the issue without checking the facts. Even our Commission on Higher Education says there is a significant number of Chinese students at St. Paul University on Tugigaraw without qualifying what is significant relative to the total student population or giving context that it is the only university given authority by CHED and Bureau of Immigration to accept foreign students. The number of foreign students of all nationalities in St. Paul University is 486, far from the 4,600 reported. Neighboring countries takes measure to entice Chinese tourists and Chinese students who wish to improve their English to better qualify for higher studies outside China. We, on the other hand, discourage them from coming by exhibiting blatant racism and racial profiling. The baseless and deliberate fanning of negative news on influx of Chinese students serves only to exacerbate the ongoing geopolitical tensions arising from our maritime conflict with China. It is not a coincidence that it came on the heels of tripartite summit among the United States, Japan, and the Philippines, and the Balikatan exercises being undertaken supposedly to make our military better equipped and combat ready. It is not coincidence either that the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, sites are in Cagayan, and our military has been agitating for greater logistical support from the US and bigger budget from our government for these sites. It is also not a coincidence that the protagonists in Cagayan students' story are political rivals. So what he's saying is that there are protagonists and there are political local rivals in Cagayan, which of course, you know, between Lara and the other side. Those who forget history are bound to repeat mistakes of the past. We are allowing ourselves to be drawn into a proxy war between China and the United States. We do not see the Americans giving diplomacy a chance to calm turbulent waters and give room for dialogue and peaceful engagement. Tensions have been deliberately escalated and magnified by the delivery and installation of mid-range capability missiles in the Philippines by the United States. Negative news like the exaggerated influx of Chinese students are further churning the waters into a potentially dangerous tsunami. As the statement of our Fort Cagayan Province Private University said, the insinuation that the presence of Chinese students in the city's university poses a threat to national security is not only baseless, but is also deeply offensive. It is a blatant display of racism and xenophobia that has no place in our society, especially within the realm of education. Truly conflating geopolitical tension with racism and xenophobia has no part in our civilized Christian society. That's the statement po of Madam Tessie Angsi. Let me read also the statement of APCO, or the statement of our chairman, Raul Lambino. Just very quickly, because anyway, it's a very short statement. So para mas mabasa din natin. APCO Chairman Raul Lambino's statement on rising xenophobia and tension over the South China Sea. The Association for Philippine-China Understanding calls for strengthening people-to-people ties in the face of heightened xenophobia and when state-to-state and government-to-government relation turn sour, our best hope for easing tensions and path to resolving differences is through people-to-people dialogue. It is an important pillar in relation among nations because ultimately it will be the people who will be affected by what states and government do in relation with other nations. APCO expresses concern on increasing racism and xenophobia in the country. It is baseless and totally unfair to label well-meaning Filipinos as pro-China or pro-Chinese or even spies of China. APCO and its members and many other Chinoy organizations are neither pro-China or against any other nations. APCO is clearly pro-Filipinos and working for the best interest of the country. APCO has been active for the past decades in promoting understanding, building friendship, and fostering cooperation between the peoples of the Philippines and China. These have brought many benefits to our country and people. Started in early 1970s, APCO was formally registered with the Security and Exchange Commission on February 26, 1974. It is the officially recognized friendship association between the Philippines and China. One of its projects, the Awards for Promoting Philippine-China Understanding, recognizes Filipinos with outstanding work or exemplary efforts in promoting friendship between the two countries. APPCU laureates include former government officials, diplomats, businessmen, civic leaders, academicians, and media personality. APCO is also involved in cultural exchange, educational tie-up, sisterhood programs, and promoting trade, investment, and tourism, which are all beneficial to the country. So that's the statement of our chairman, APCO, Chairman Lambino. Maraming salamat po at back to you, Wilson.
Tita Angsi and Mr. Raul Lambino. Last but not the least, while waiting for Governor Mamba and Mayor of Tuguegarao, we have with us a very very popular international relations scholar and political blogger, Ms. Sas Rogando Sasot. A short background, she has earned masters in international relations from Leiden University in the Netherlands. Also, she studied BA degree, combined major in world politics and global justice, minor in international development with magna cum laude honors from Leiden University College, plus a BA Business Administration in Human Resource Management from the Open University of Hong Kong. Let us welcome for her opening statement, Ms. Sas Rogando Saso.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Okay, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Sas Rogando Sasot. At magandang umaga sa ating mga panelists na nandito, sa mga old faces katulad ni Kahep Mento. Hello ka, Peter. And of course, si Mr. Serge Luis. Kamusta? I believe this is the first time that I met you. Ang nangyayari po sa ating bansa ay isa lamang po itong pagpapatuloy ng tinatawag nating jingoistic policy, foreign policy ng ating bansa, no? At itong mga ginagawa ngayon nilang issue tungkol sa Chinese students /spy daw ay isa na naman po itong scare tactic. At dapat po nating tanungin ang ating mga sarili kung para saan po itong scare tactic na ito. Ito po ba talaga ay para mabigyan ng proteksyon ng ating bansa or para po ito lalong maging daan upang lumalim ang presensya ng bansang Amerika sa ating bansa. Lawakan niyo po ang inyong pag-aaral sa ating mundo. Ganito din po ang ginawa sa Ukraine, papunta sa gera. Nagkaroon ng anti-Russian scare, lahat ng mga Russian influence sa Russia, even literature, no, binan sa Ukraine. At nakita nyo na ngayon, ang Ukraine ay wala nang patutunguhan kundi papunta sa patuloy na kamatayan ng kanilang mga citizens, and it will take about, maswerte na ang Ukraine kung ma-develop nila uli ang kanilang bansa in 20 years, no, sa kalagayan nila ngayon at sa kalagayan ng kanilang mga citizens. Itong mga pag-aakusa na ang mga estudyante na nag-aaral sa Cagayan or sa iba pa na mga Chinese ay mga spy, ay this is very laughable, no? At this age, you don't really need to send people in order to spy in another location. At this age of satellite, this age of technology wherein we can reach Mars, no? This is like old Cold War mentality, itong nangyayari sa ating bansa ngayon, and of course produced by politicians who do not know anything about what's really going on in the world. And personally speaking, I cannot really trust them to know anything about foreign policy and to develop good foreign policy, because in the first place they cannot even develop good local policies for our country. No, itong ginagawa nila ngayon, hindi nila iniisip ang consequences nito. Okay, so can you imagine if China will demonstrate the same kind of paranoia that these politicians are actually doing in our country? Can you imagine if suddenly they would decide, ito ba mga OFWs na sa Hong Kong, ang mga Filipino spy ba ito? Or yung mga OFWs sa mainland China or sa Macau, hindi ba? At malinaw na malinaw sa pagsasab sa mga balita, no, Bureau of Immigration and even CHED, na itong mga estudyanteng ito ay dumaan sa proseso. These are young people, and I don't really know what they're studying in Cagayan or somewhere else, but I believe that they are related to agriculture and aquaculture. Malinaw naman kung bakit sila nababahala na may estudyante sa Cagayan. It is because of EDCA, and we know that it is a US military base. At alam naman natin kung sino ang nag-uudyok, no, para isipin natin ang ganyan, kundi ang bansang Amerika. Diba? Kung wala naman diyang EDCA sa Cagayan, this will never be an issue. So if the Americans are not there, this will never be an issue, no? And another point, I would like to stress this over and over again. Where do we want our country to be in 30 years? Why 30 years? Because it took China about 30 years in order to say that we have already finally arrived in the world. And ang gusto ko nga metaphor is, do we want to host the Olympics within 30 years, or do we want to host a possible proxy war of the United States within 30 years? Those two goals are not compatible. Okay, if you want to host the bakit Olympics? Because if you are able to host the Olympics, it means that your country has already arrived at a level of scientific, organizational, and economic development that would allow you to host such a huge undertaking. Okay, and it seems that our country is not headed towards hosting the Olympics within 30 years, but instead of hosting a possible proxy war between the United States and China. And ang nangyayari ngayon is nakikita natin na they are actually forming that kind of mentality sa ating mga tao para we would be able to hate so much the Chinese that having a war with them will just be an easy walk in the park in the conscience of our people. So kailangan nating let's step back from our emotion. You are entitled to your emotions sa nangyayari dyan sa South China Sea. But the thing is, you have to remember that we are watching a political theater. No, these are all being conducted in the service of someone's interest. And definitely, this is not in the interest of the Filipino in the long term. This is definitely in the interest of our former colonizer who wants to drag our country into a conflict with China so that they would have a leverage against China on economic matters. So itong nangyayari ngayon dyan sa students na issue, this is just another episode in this tragedy of foreign policy na nangyayari ngayon sa Bongbong administration. Now, to close my opening statement, and I would be happy to answer your questions, ito ba ang gusto natin sa ating susunod na henerasyon? No? Maswerte itong mga matatandang politicians dito sa Pilipinas, no, they don't have anything to live for anymore. They don't have much time left in their lives, so they can afford to be this kind of aggressive people towards our neighbor. But always remember, katulad sa ating everyday experience, our neighbor will always be our neighbor, especially in the context of geography. You cannot kick out China out of Asia. Cannot kick out China out of East Asia. We will have to deal with them for the rest of our lives, for the rest of the life of our country, because we are neighbors. So it's better to have good neighborly relationship. And good neighborly relationship requires you to compromise. Wala namang neighborhood na walang compromise. Now, there is one power that that is not our neighbor, that is no longer our colonizer, but it is being invited back to be our colonizer, and the one that is causing trouble in our country and in our region. So let's think about the future and what kind of Philippines we are going to actually give to the future generation as their starting point. Do we want to give them a Philippines that is on the trajectory to hosting the Olympics in 30 years, or a Philippines that is in the trajectory of being destroyed in another world war, just like the president alluded to in Australia recently, na sinabi niyang tayo nasa front lines again, like in World War II. Maraming salamat po.